Hello everyone! Creed 2 comes out this month, and I thought it'd be a good time to revisit all the Rocky films leading up to Creed 2. Here we go. In honor of Creed 2 this month, I'm going to be going over Rocky 4 from 1985. Rocky 4 is the film that leads directly into Creed 2, and that was the reason why Creed had a spin-off from Rocky. This is a film where Russian Ivan Drago kills Apollo Creed, which is Adonis Creed's father. Again, Sylvester Stallone returns as director for this Rocky installment. Originally, he wanted to end the series with Rocky 3. There was no plans for a fourth entry. Meanwhile, you had rising tensions with the Cold War in the 1980s, and Sylvester Stallone needed a project. He felt like he could tell this story in a Rocky film. Present what's going on in the country and in the world at that time with the Cold War, and put it into a boxing story. And that's what he did with Rocky 4. Rocky 4 is the most 80s Rocky. This is an 80s film. As a matter of fact, the whole film is pretty much a montage. It really is. I love Rocky 4. It may not be the best in terms of storytelling, but it's a guilty pleasure for me. I love this film. It's just an awesome, epic film. It's as 80s as you can get. Bill Conti did not return to do the score. He decided to work on Karate Kid Part 2, so we have Vince DiCola doing the score, the synthesized score, and he does a fantastic job. For those familiar, he also did the film Transformers the movie, and yeah, every time you hear like Ivan Drago's theme, or like the robot that was with Paulie, I think of Galvatron from Transformers the movie. It really has that vibe. I love Training Montage and War. We also have a wonderful 80s soundtrack with Burning Heart, Hearts on Fire, Living in America by James Brown, and of course, No Easy Way Out by Robert Tepper. The most awesome training montage music you can get. I love it. A whole sequence that's pretty much a montage of all the Rocky films up to this point. Rocky is retired, and so is Apollo Creed. They're good friends. We get to see Rocky live with his family. And of course, I mentioned a robot. He gives Paulie this robot on his birthday. And it's nice. You get to see their lives. Meanwhile, a man named Ivan Drago with the USSR, Soviet Union, decides to get into the world of boxing. And he comes to America looking to challenge an opponent. Apollo Creed does not like this, not only with the rising tensions between the Soviet Union and the United States of America, but also with his age. He feels like he has enough left in the tank to show this person a lesson. And that's what's going to end up being his downfall. Apollo Creed is killed in an exhibition match opposite Ivan Drago. And you had that famous line with Dolph Lundgren in his breakout role where he's like, if he dies, he dies. I love the role of Ivan Drago. He's menacing. Dolph Lundgren was in A View to a Kill, but this is like his main breakout role before he was in the original Punisher and several other action films. I love his performance here because he has some animated kind of like lively antagonist for Rocky to face, and he decided to take a more silent, stoic approach to Ivan Drago. He's a very different, cold, and just tough enemy than any opponent Rocky has faced before this moment. We also have Bridget Nielsen as his wife, and yeah, Sylvester Stallone was married to her at the time briefly. He also starred with her in the underrated film called Cobra. But upon Apollo Creed dying, Rocky decides he must fight, not for money or anything, but to basically avenge Apollo's death and stand up against Ivan Drago in this America versus Soviet Union type of story. In the climate of the Cold War in the 1980s, the whole movie is him training to go up against this guy who is like a machine. I love everything about this film. And of course, there's a deeper message of two people instead of 20 million people fighting. If I could change, and you can change, maybe we all can change. That line there is so great. It really shows you the repercussions of the Cold War, really. Like, what is a worst case scenario? There's more that unites us as human beings. There's more to learn about each other. And that's kind of a crazy tale, especially now given our current climate and how things have kind of come full circle by the time of Creed 2. And I find it interesting. What I also find interesting is that Ivan Drago, he may be heartless, he may be a machine, but he has somewhat of a humanity in him. In the fight, when they start cheering for Rocky and they want him to win, they're calling him an idiot. He's being disgraced in his own country. And he's just like, I win for me, not for anyone else. So you see there's a humanity to Ivan Drago here, you know? He's almost like a puppet that's being used. And I just love everything about this movie. Training montages, of course, Hearts on Fire, Burning Heart. The No Easy Way Out montage of the car. Beautifully, beautifully done. I want to film a montage like that. Like, that is the montage to end all montages. And he's just like on the mountain, Drago! I love everything about that, man. That whole training montage is just as epic and 80s as you can get. And this is just an enjoyable, entertaining film. What can I say? A 4 film shouldn't be this damn entertaining, but it is. Like, it really is. And it's sad that Rocky lost Apollo Creed, his friend. This is a guy who gave him the 1,000,000-to-1 shot to become the world champion. And now he's gone. And this film is even better now because we have Creed and Creed 2, which is a result of what happened in this film. And I just find that really great, you know. Burt Young, as always, does great as Paulie. he complains, does stuff. Tony Burton gets a lot more to do as Duke here. You really get to see more of him being a father figure to Apollo and losing his son in many ways and having to train Rocky to carry on his legacy and spirit to avenge his death. Talia Shire is great as Adrian as always. I love her and Rocky's relationship. And yeah, this is just pretty much a statement of the Cold War during that time, and it's almost like a time capsule of the 80s in many ways. And it has a powerful message at the end with these two individuals. And yeah, perfect film to watch on 4th of July. I mean, Rocky 4 is as good in 80s as it gets. Seriously, Rocky 4, if you've never seen any of the Rockies or Rocky 4, see it right now. And if you've seen Rocky 4, you know how awesome it is. Seriously, I love this movie. There's no easy way out of loving Rocky 4. I give it a 4 out of 5 and a B+. It's a great film. Story-wise, it's a bit weaker than the other 3 films, but it's still just as enjoyable and something on its own. What I like is it's so different from the other 3. Supposedly, Rocky 4 is supposed to be an hour longer. I would love to see that version. But the version we have is very good. It's the shortest Rocky film, I think, at 91 minutes. But it's great. I like the film. Supposedly, Carl Weathers and Dolph Lundgren really didn't like each other fighting each other, you know. There were some real hits and real tension there, and it delivered. That death scene of Apollo is just so heartbreaking, of Rocky not throwing in the towel. And Carl Weathers really conveyed that very well with his death and twitching on the ground. Like, it felt real. You felt heartbroken. Rocky lost yet another person, but there was this vendetta and just rage going against Ivan Drago. And it was almost like an allegory and metaphor for the time and the tension between the Soviet Union and the United States of America. Rocky 4 is just epic. I love this film. It was the highest grossing Rocky film at the time, the last film Sylvester Stallone directed until Rocky Balboa in 2006. So those are my feelings on Rocky 4. Let me know what you think about Rocky 4 down in the comments below. What are some of your favorite moments from the film? Let me know. I love the No Easy Way Out scene and training montage. I love those 2 scenes. No Easy Way Out, I made a music video with the Rocky Saga. Check it out on my Dark Knight of Steel channel. But as always, you can follow me on the Stardust app at Fred Film Fanatic. I'm going to be having a lot of Rocky videos and reviews. And yeah, here's some more videos you can enjoy on my channel. And be on the lookout for my review of Rocky 5 on the road to Creed 2.